Greatness, it's just something we made up. Somehow we've come to believe that greatness is a gift, reserved for a chosen few, for prodigies, for superstars. And the rest of us can only stand by watching. Greatness is no more unique to us than breathing. We're all capable of it. All of us.
See, a lot of people go to work every day miserable, and all they do is just talk about how miserable they are, but they don't do anything about it. You know that you're deliberately operating below your potential. You've gotten comfortable. You stop expanding, you stop stretching, you stop challenging yourself. It's hard living. Life is hard. So most people don't use their imaginations. Most people don't dream anymore. Why? Because through the conditioning process of life, after so many rejections, see, you know what you can do. You know what you have done, and you also have seen what has been done by others in your environment and by others in your circumstances. Then you look at where you want to go, and what most people do, they do that which they feel they know that can work because they've already done it or they've seen it done. And so they allow their negative history to determine the possibilities for them. And so when they run into a roadblock, even if they have something beyond their comfort zone, when they run into a roadblock, something happens to them. Most people allow life to control them and their circumstances. Look into the future. What is it you want? What is it you'd like to create for you? You want to make your dream come true, you got to stay focused. Some people rather get even than get ahead. Stay focused on where you want to go. This is not going to be it for my life. I deserve more than this. See, that will start making you do some stuff.
All right, I'm one day better than I was yesterday. And that's how we have to look at life. That's how we have to look at these situations. And eventually you'll stop feeling the way that you feel right now. And because of the actions that you're taking, by the time that you stop feeling, because here's the thing, if you did nothing, if you just continue to live and you did nothing, all right, you will eventually get over this because time cures the painful wounds. Think of every hard thing you've ever been through. When enough time passes, it gets easier to deal with. It may not permanently go away, but it gets small. It gets real small in the rear view. And occasionally you'll be upset about it, but most of the time you kind of don't even think about it. The point is this, when that time comes, when the time comes where this huge event to you right now is very small in the rearview mirror, do you want to be in a better place than you are right now, or do you want to be in a worse place than you are right now? Because here's the thing, time is going to pass, and time will help heal the wound.
Real man in the dark, when nobody's watching, he putting in work. A real man, when coach ain't even watching, he's studying film on his own, because he loves the process. If you will be a champion, if you will be a beast, you're gonna have to go through something. Ain't nobody gonna hand you nothing, ain't nobody gonna hand you no championship, ain't nobody gonna hand you no title.
Here, there's no such thing as a weekend. This is an everyday gig. Every day is a Monday. And you might not like that. Me, I love it. To me, every day is a beginning, a new day, a new week, a new shot at life.
I prefer negative visualization, which is, what if I keep doing what I'm currently doing for the next 10 years? What will my life look like then? That usually takes my current pain and then just magnifies it. And then that allows me to get my action threshold high enough that it goes over the edge so that I can take that first move. And so if you know what the inputs outputs are of what you need to do, and you figure out whatever fuel you've got, not the one you wish you had, but the one you've got, and you use that to do the first input, you cross the line. You're in the game.
A quote that has helped me immeasurably is a boy and a horse are in the woods. And the boy says to the horse, I can't see a way through. And the horse says, can you see your next step? And the boy says, yeah. And the horse says, then just take that. All of the time, we look at the goal, we look at the future, we look at the end game, we look at how long a journey it is, and we feel overwhelmed. With each step, you will get closer to that. All I need to focus on right now is my next step.
Not only is it possible for you to have your dream, but it's necessary. It's necessary that you have it, that you work on it, that you develop yourself, that you go for what is yours in the universe. The major key to your reaching your dream, your living up to your greatness, your making your contribution to your making things happen in your life is you. But you've got to take personal responsibility to make it happen.
If you break, the fight is just beginning. And as you crawl up and out of that dismal and wretched place, covered, and you're covered in blood and sweat and dirt and filth as you rise above what you were, and as you take the form of who you are supposed to be, you will see that in the very act of standing up, in the very act of fighting on, you will become and you will remain.
Life is difficult. Somehow people seem to believe that life is supposed to be easy. This is particularly a problem in America today. We expect a smooth, easy road to success. We expect our lives to be hassle-free. We expect the government to solve our problems. We expect to get the prize without having to pay the price. That is not reality. Life is hard. In life's greatest lessons, Hal Urban writes, once we accept the fact that life is hard, we begin to grow. We begin to understand that every problem is also an opportunity. It is then that we dig down and discover what we're made of. We begin to accept the challenges of life. Instead of letting our hardships defeat us, we welcome them as a test of character. We use them as a means of rising to the occasion. At the same time, we need to understand that society bombards us daily with messages that are quite the opposite. To begin with, technology has provided us with push-button living. We can open the garage door, cook dinner, wash the dishes, record our favorite TV program, and pay our bills by simply pushing the right buttons. In addition, we're told over and over that there's a quick and easy way to do just about everything. Within just the past few days, I've read or heard that you can lose 100 pounds, learn to speak a foreign language fluently, become a hot new radio personality, get a contractor's license, and make $1 million in real estate. You can do all of these in a matter of days and with little or no effort. And pigs can fly. Those ads are all around us because the people in advertising and marketing have a good understanding of human behavior. They know that most people don't accept life as hard and will continue to look for the quick and easy way instead. There is no quick and easy way. Nothing worth having in life comes without effort. That is why psychiatrist M. Scott Peck begins his book, The Road Less Traveled, with the words, life is difficult. He wants to set the stage for everything else he communicates in the book. If we don't understand and accept the truth that life is difficult, then we set ourselves up for failure and we won't learn. Life is difficult for everyone, even if we are willing to concede that life is difficult for most people. Deep down inside, many of us secretly hope somehow that this truth won't apply to us. I'm sorry to say it isn't so. No one escapes life's problems, failures, and losses. If we are to make progress, we must do so through life's difficulties. Or as poet Ralph Waldo Emerson stated it, the walking of man is falling forwards. Life isn't easy and it isn't fair. I've had unfair things happen to me. I bet you have too. I've made mistakes, made a fool of myself, hurt people I've loved, and experienced crushing disappointments. I bet you have too. We cannot avoid life's difficulties. We shouldn't even try. Why? Because the people who succeed in life don't try to escape pain, loss, or unfairness. They just learn to face those things, accept them, and move ahead in the face of them. That's my goal. It should also be yours. Life is more difficult for some than it is for others. The playing field is not level. You may have faced more and greater difficulties in life than I have. You may have faced fewer. Your life right now may feel like clear sailing, or it may feel like rough waters. And comparing our lives to others ultimately isn't that productive. Life isn't fair, and we shouldn't expect it to be. The sooner we face that reality, the better we are going to be at facing whatever is coming toward us. Don't make life harder for yourself. Your life is probably plenty difficult already. The reality is that you will have to deal with those difficulties already, no matter what. One of the keys to winning is to not make things even harder for yourself, which is, unfortunately, what many people seem to do. People who respond correctly to adversity realize that their response to a challenge is what impacts the outcome. They accept and acknowledge the reality of their situation and then act accordingly. I didn't find that to be easy at first. My natural optimism tends to make me want to ignore a crisis and hope it will go away. That doesn't work. Wishing isn't solving. Denying a problem only makes it worse. So does getting angry and yelling or taking it out on loved ones. I had to learn to say to myself, this is the way it is. I have a problem. If I want to solve it, I need to take action. What is the best solution? When you have a challenge, you can turn lemons into lemonade or you can let them sour your whole life. It's your choice. Facing reality, maintaining a confident sense of expectation, and performing at your best may not be easy, but it is possible. And it does make a huge difference in your life. It sets you up to learn, to grow, and to succeed.
Most people like the idea of being exceptional, but not enough to do what it takes to get there. This is true for most domains of competence. For instance, everybody says that they want to be slim, healthy, attractive, and rich, but few people are willing to do what it takes to attain those things, which suggests that they don't really want those things as much as they say or think. Typically, when we say we want something, we actually just mean that we want to have it, but with no implicit assumption that we're willing to do any work to get there. In reality, wanting something should equate with being prepared to take the necessary steps to achieve it. If you are serious about your goals, then you will do whatever it takes to attain them. Your confidence is secondary. What matters is the desire you have to attempt to achieve them. Indeed, without the will to improve, there is no chance of accomplishing anything, and with enough willpower, it is possible to overcome most challenges. The advantage is yours. You are in pole position. As you continue on this journey, be sure to use your low confidence as a potent weapon. It enables you to make a realistic assessment of your competence, keeping any delusions and self-enhancement in check. It helps you prepare for negative events, preventing failure, and it ensures that you come across as humble to others, which will make you more likable. Remember that most people lack this weapon. You can never be too aware of your weaknesses. As we know now, being aware of them is a major strength, while being aware only of your strengths, or erroneously thinking that you are better than average, will sooner or later turn into a weakness. Regardless of the underlying reasons for your low confidence, it is clear that you want to improve, or at least you want to stop feeling that you lack competence. That's why low confidence is such a powerful weapon. Even in the unlikely event that it does not alter your perceived incompetence, it will still drive positive change. It is noteworthy in this respect that both low and high confidence disrupt the competence cycle, but only low confidence does so for your benefit. When your confidence is high, you will tend to decrease effort to gain competence, unless you do nothing at all, implying stagnation and recession, which are not much better options anyway. When it is low, you will be driven to increase your efforts to accomplish competence. In simple terms, the less confident you feel, the more you will be itching to improve, unless you don't care about your confidence. If you do care and your low confidence is bugging you, then you really have no excuse. As we've seen, low confidence is the essential fuel for gaining competence because it increases preparation, the key ingredient for any competence gains. If your low confidence is health-related, then preparation means becoming a healthier person. If your low confidence relates to romantic relationships, then preparation implies becoming a more eligible partner. If you lack confidence in your ability to deal with people, then preparation means refining your people skills. And if your low confidence applies to your career, then preparation refers to enhancing your employability. There it is, in a nutshell. In brief, so long as you have the necessary motivation to improve, not only before but also after you gain competence, you will be able to earn and deserve your confidence without distorting your beliefs or trying to go against your nature. Even if you don't change your confidence levels, society will benefit. Your lack of confidence is a much-needed antidote to the common incompetent confidence that rules our world. So long as you remain unconfident, there will be undiluted life on our planet. And in any event, try not to envy people who are confident. Instead, make every effort to identify genuine competence manifestations in others, regardless of their confidence.
How do I want to be remembered? And that's the problem, man. Like nowadays, people don't give a fuck how they're remembered. They don't give a fuck about their family. Everybody's equal. Their mom is equal to them. Their dad's equal to them. They're growing. Everybody's fucking equal. So it's a tough question to ask because when I grew up, my mom worked 3 fucking jobs and all I wanted to do, and she got her fucking ass damn near murdered. And it took her down a dark hole. And I saw this. That helped me grow up to say, all I want to do is retire my mother when I get older. That's all I want to fucking do. And thank God I did that. But the thing about it, with a lot of people, they don't have that in them. The parents raise the kids very differently now. So the kids don't have that sense of self. I believe in self-discipline, self-pride, self-motivation. No one has that self anymore. That self is gone. So that driving force that tells you, I have to do this shit. I took great pride in the fact that I was nobody. And what you just described put goosebumps on me because that's exactly what I took pride in. Was I'm gonna make sure you're good and you're good. My mom would tell you right now, she's right there sitting. She knows I don't buy myself shit. I take great pride in that. I don't want shit. Because how I'm wired to, hey mom, I'm gonna get you this, and this. My girl, everybody's got everything. I don't even own a fucking car, and I'm a multi-millionaire. And I say that with pride. Because what I was here to do as a man, and men may not even want to hear this. It sounds so barbaric. That's the pride in what you have as a man. Is that you see your mom, you see your girl, you see your kids, you see all this shit. You see them doing well. That's all a real man wants. They don't give a fuck about how they dress, how they look, what they're driving. They don't give a shit. Because why? Your trophies are your family, and they're all walking around. Every man that sees you, they see you walking in with some sweatpants and shit. They know your family's fucking balling because you put the fucking time in, you put the effort in, you put the work in. And as a man, we don't want none of that shit. We just want fucking respect. And that's what men don't give a fuck about now. But the only thing I want is for my family to look at me and say, that's the man. Right there. And men don't fucking have that. They don't know what that feels like. So until you know what that feels like, you're never going to seek that feeling of when things are bad, my family looks to me.
As they should.
As they should.
That's your job.
That is my fucking job. And I earned that. It's not given because you wake up and you're a man.
And it feels real good.
It feels amazing. When anything goes wrong in my family, if there's a flat tire, they don't call fucking AAA. They call David fucking Goggins. Mom's got a problem? David. My mom's sick? David. She don't call the doctors, David. Anybody, they call David. And that's earned. And that's a good feeling. And I would challenge men to try that. Try that. Try that for a couple of days. Try working those 20-hour shifts and coming home and having your girl have a meal at home. I guarantee your girl looks at you very different. Every day you come home and you're dirty as fuck, or you're just tired and she knows you're only getting 4 hours of sleep, and then when you go to work, she's sleeping because it's 4 o'clock in the fucking morning, and you look at her, she knows what kind of man she's got. Your mom knows, your dad knows the kind of son they have. They don't know that feeling. It's the best feeling in the world. Money can't buy it, nothing can buy it. A lot of people fall down when they get smacked, and when they hit the ground, they lose all momentum. Not just physically, but mentally, because they are humiliated. And when you are humiliated, it is impossible to make any sort of progress. We must learn how to absorb life's haymakers without getting knocked down. Because picking yourself up off the canvas is the hardest, longest step of all as you fight to regain your momentum. Yes, I had to shut it down for half a day. Yes, all the goals I had for Moab 240 have been obliterated. Yes, my body was a mess, but mentally, I was still on my feet and in the race because I'm not living life for the same reasons as almost everyone else. The rewards I seek are internal, and if you have that mindset, you will find opportunities for growth everywhere. During tough times, that growth can be exponential. I wasn't going to win the race or finish in a respectable time, but I have been gifted another rare opportunity to test myself in adverse conditions and become more. If anything, my desire to finish had only grown thanks to the mess I'd made. At the same time, I needed to ease some of the pressure I placed on myself. Pressure comes with high expectations, which is great because it can bring out your best. But there are times when it can be more helpful to offload pressure. When you are exhausted, it is vital to remain in control of your thoughts and emotions so you can make decisions with your right mind. Choosing to relieve pressure allows you to do that. When the pressure is high, you develop blinders that limit perspective. That's great for certain situations that demand a hyper focus, but when you're engaged in something that demands your maximum endurance, it's better to broaden your perspective and your awareness to absorb more of the experience, which enables maximum growth, both during the event and in the days and weeks to follow. Besides, if you allow that unrelenting pressure to build, you're liable to snap and make a bad situation a whole lot worse. Remember, the goal is always to complete the mission, whatever it may be, with no regrets and a clear head, so you can use it to progress in life. Cultivating a willingness to succeed despite any and all circumstances is the most important variable of the re-engagement equation. Your willingness to succeed builds self-esteem. It broadens your concept of your own capability. Yet, it is the first thing we lose touch with when things go bad. After that, giving up often feels like the sanest option, and maybe it is. But know that quitting chips away at your self-worth and always requires some level of mental rehab. Even if what forces you to quit is an injury or something else beyond your control, you will still have to bounce back from the experience mentally. A successful mission seldom requires any emotional maintenance. In order to execute on your willingness to succeed, you will need to be able to perform without purpose. You've heard of purpose, that magical missing ingredient crucial to landing a fulfilling career and building a happy life. What if I told you the importance of finding your purpose was overblown? What if there never was any such thing as your good friend purpose? What if it doesn't matter what the you do with your time here? What if it's all arbitrary and life doesn't give a flying if you want to be happy? What then? All I know is this: I am David Goggins. I exist. Therefore, I complete what I start. I take pride in my effort and in my performance in all phases of life. Just because I am here, if I'm lost, I will find myself. As long as I'm on planet Earth, I will not half-ass it. Anywhere I lack, I will improve because I exist and I am willing. This is the mentality we should all strive for when we're stuck. Because when you're in the hurt locker, you must be your own motivator, your own drill instructor. In the dark moments, you must remind yourself why you chose to be there in the first place. That takes an edgy tone. When you're all up and looking for more, the only tone you should allow inside your head is the tone of a warrior. the tone of someone prepared to plunge deep inside their own soul to find the energy they need to keep up the fight and prevail. Most of this generation quits the second they get talked to. You did this wrong, or they get yelled at. It's so easy to be great nowadays because most people are weak. This is a softened generation. So if you have any mental toughness, any ability, if you have any fraction of self-discipline, the ability to not want to do it but still do it. People have a hard thing to understand. I hate to run. And what makes me so crazy, it doesn't anymore, is people go, well, why do you run if you hate it? What are you talking about? I don't want to take showers and eat either. I hate that too. That's life, man. It wasn't until I changed that mentality that I became somebody. I hated going to school. So guess what? I was dumb as That's what 1 + 1 is 2. But if you can get through to doing things that you hate to do, on the other side is greatness. That's what people don't understand. By me running, I am callous in my mind. I'm not training for a race. I'm training for life. I'm training for the time when I get that 2 o'clock in the morning call that my mom is dead or something happens tragic in life. I don't fall apart. I'm training my mind and my body and my spirit so it's all one, so I can handle what life is gonna throw at me, because the life I've lived, it throws a whole bunch at you. And if you're not physically and mentally prepared for that, you're just gonna crumble and you're good for nobody. You said I can be me. The second you said I can cuss and be me, and cussing, people say, man, you cuss all the time, why? Well, I hate to say it, the best way for me to get how I feel across, I can't sit here and say, you know what, yeah, I went through Hell Week and man, it was really hard. No, that takes your damn soul, rips it inside out, and then they say, now we're going to start. It allows me to express where I was at a point of my life. If I don't give you all of me, why the hell am I here? How will you learn from me? People take so much offense to me. You will never learn from people if we always tap dance around the truth.
Oh God, I love that.
We tap dance around the truth by finding the right words so I don't hurt you because you have thin skin. No, tighten up, people. Almost nothing in life is constant. Conditions and circumstances are perpetually in flux like the winds and the tide, which is why my mind is never fixed. I tack and adjust, forever searching for my new 100%. Age, health, and the responsibilities we carry can be limiting. That doesn't mean we should give in to those limitations or use them as excuses to let ourselves or our dreams go. But we can acknowledge them as long as we are committed to finding out what we can still do given those limits, whether they be temporary or indefinite, and maximizing that. Every day, thousands of people wake up to a life defined by newfound limitations that are difficult to accept. Maybe they've been diagnosed with a terminal disease or suffered a spinal injury. Could be they lost a limb or are suffering from PTS. More often, the shifting circumstances are not nearly so dire. Sometimes it's good news that changes the equation. Maybe you are a new parent or landed a lucrative gig that demands 10 to 12-hour workdays. Could be you recently got married, which means you have to consider more than just your own goals. No matter the variables, your new 100% is out there waiting for you to find it. The thing is, most people don't want to, because whenever you're trying to find your new anything, it means you're not who you used to be, and that can be depressing enough to give up the search. Some people use their new circumstances to dial down their effort level instead of adjusting their approach and still giving it their all to achieve their goals. You've got to work with what you have. I couldn't run a ruck, but that didn't mean I was out of the fight. No matter what you are dealing with, your goal should be to maximize the resources and capabilities you do have. If you've suffered a freak injury or received a diagnosis that changes everything, what does your new maximum effort level look like? A lot of people bide their time and wait to see what happens next, but a year or two later, they find they are still waiting. With every unfortunate turn in life, no matter how heavy the weight, you have to be committed to pushing back against that pressure with effort. No matter your age, abilities, disabilities, or responsibilities, we must all stay committed to finding our new benchmarks. Because not only does that keep your mind engaged and your demons at bay, you actually might achieve things the old you never could have conceived.
Major step to human progress, discipline. If there's one thing to get excited over, that's it. Get excited over your ability to make yourself do the necessary things. What could you make yourself do starting tomorrow that would change it all? No! Tell him. Now see, that's exciting. On any given day, you can massively change the direction of your life. Murder is a clear example that any one person on any given day can forever alter the course of their life. It just happens to be a negative act. But just as sure as you can commit a negative act, you can also commit a positive act and forever alter your life. Whenever you wish. Now that's exciting. And whatever that act might be that changes your life, start with the little disciplines, get excited over the little disciplines, and get right on those, because those will lead to the big ones. You can't handle the big challenges in life unless you take on the little ones. Make a list of all the things you can do, get right on those, discipline yourself for those, both for the results and for the muscle and for the practice, so that when life hands you some big challenges, you'll be ready, you'll have the muscle. But see, if you don't handle the small ones, you can't take care of the big ones. Here's what else it takes for life change. Self-motivation. Key phrase, self-motivation. I don't know why we call it self-motivation. It's really the only kind there is. You got to motivate yourself. Because I found out you can't change people. They can change themselves, but you can't change them. Lord knows some I've tried. But see, it won't work. People have to change themselves. So it takes self-motivation to really alter your life. And you don't want to give self-motivation away to somebody else and make it somebody else motivating you. The guy says, boy, if somebody just come by and turn me on. What if they don't show up? See, you got to have a better plan for your life. The consistent, disciplined, purposeful, constant search for knowledge. It's where the life-changing ideas are. Pursue knowledge with high expectations. Spend the money, time, and effort. They are all investments, but the payoff is so great it's hard to compare the cost to the reward. First is the money. Set up an educational fund for the programs, the books, the lectures, the seminars, and the videos you need for a constant flow of ideas and inspiration. Take a portion of your income each month and set it aside to invest in the search for knowledge. Remember, the best money spent is the money spent to cultivate the genius of your own mind and spirit. Make sure you don't spend more for frivolous comforts and conveniences than you do for education. The money is a small price. The promise is unlimited potential. The next investment is time, which is an extremely valuable expenditure. It's one thing to ask someone for their money, but to ask them for their time is a much more significant request. Knowledge takes time, precious time. The time you spend is irreplaceable. You can get more money, but you can't get more time. However, life has a unique way of rewarding high investment with high return. The major investment of time you're making now could be that small, fine tuning you need for major accomplishment. Last is the investment of effort. There is a great deal of difference between casual learning and serious learning. Learning that opens up the whole mental and spiritual process is truly an investment in effort. And this effort is the investment that opens the floodgates of ideas that can work their magic for you in the marketplace. So I don't hesitate to ask you to spend, in a deliberate and consistent fashion, the money, time, and effort required to reach your goals. These are the investments that turn on the lights, sharpen the focus, and start turning your wishes of wealth and happiness into reality. Let me share with you two of the best sources of information available. First, there are your own experiences. Become a good student of your own life. It's the information you are most familiar with and feel the strongest about, so make your own life one of your most important studies. In studying your own life, Be sure to study the negative as well as the positive, your failures as well as your successes. Our so-called failures serve us well when they teach us valuable information. They're frequently better teachers than our successes. One of the ways we learn how to do something right is simply by doing it wrong. Doing it wrong is a great school for learning, but I would suggest that you not take too long doing this. If you've done something wrong for 10 years, I wouldn't suggest taking another 10. But what a close at hand and excellent way to learn. From your own experiences, when I met Mr. Schoaf, I had been working for 6 years. I started when I was 19, and when I met him, I was 25. He said to me, "Mr. Ron, you have been working now for 6 years. How are you doing?" I said, "Not very well." He said, "I suggest you not do that anymore. 6 years is long enough to operate with the wrong plan." Next, he asked, "How much money have you saved in the last 6 years?" I said, "Not any." He said, "Who sold you on that plan 6 years ago?" What a fantastic question. Where did I get my current plan that wasn't working well? Everyone has bought someone's plan. The question is, whose plan have you bought? Those initial confrontations may be a little painful at first, especially if you have made as many errors as I have. But think of the progress you can make when you finally confront those errors by becoming a better student of your own life. The second way to learn is from other people's experiences. Remember, you can learn from other people, whether they have done things right or wrong. You can learn from the negative as well as the positive. The Bible is such a great book because it is a collection of human stories representing both sides of the ledger. Some human stories are called examples. Do what these people did. Other human stories are called warnings. Don't do what these people did. What a wealth of information. Knowing what to do and what not to do. If your story ever gets in somebody's book, make sure they use it as an example, not a warning. There are 3 ways to learn from other people. The first is to listen to the programs and read the books by and about people who have accomplished great things. All the successful people around the world I know and work with are good readers. They are driven to read because they just have to know. It is one of the things they all have in common. Here's an excellent phrase. All leaders are readers. Successful people also listen to audio programs, especially while they're in the car or during other times when they can't read. Programs can help all of us easily pick up new ideas and skills. Did you know there are programs and books on how to be stronger, more decisive, a better speaker, a more effective leader, have a better effect on other people, become more loving, develop a more winning personality, get rich, develop persuasive influence, become sophisticated? And people don't utilize these resources? How would you explain that? Did you know that hundreds of successful people have written their stories in books and told the world how they became successful? And most people don't want to read or listen to them. How would you explain that? They're busy, I guess. They say, if you worked where I work, you'd know that by the time I struggle home, it's late. I've got to have a bite to eat, watch a little TV, and go to bed. I can't stay up half the night and read. Imagine someone who is behind on his bills. He's a good worker and very sincere. Unfortunately, you can be sincere and work hard all your life and wind up broke, confused, and embarrassed. You've got to be better than a good worker. You've got to be a good reader and a good listener. You don't have to read or listen to educational programs half the night. Although if you're broke, it's a good place to start. All you need are just 30 minutes a day. That's all. Stretch it to an hour if you can, but set aside at least 30 minutes. Hear or read something challenging, something instructional, at least 30 minutes a day, every day. Miss a meal, but not your 30 minutes. You can get along without some meals, but you can't get along without some ideas, examples, and inspiration. There's a biblical phrase that says, man cannot live on bread alone. The most important thing, aside from bread, is words. Words nourish the mind. Words nourish the soul. Humans have to have food and words to be healthy and prosperous. Make sure you have a good diet of words every day. And remember that to properly feed the mind, you must maintain good balance. Don't just read or listen to the easy material. You can't live on mental candy. With good books and programs, you can tap into the treasure of ideas. And if somebody has a good excuse for not tapping into the treasure of ideas for at least 30 minutes every day, I'd like to hear it. You wouldn't believe some excuses I've heard. Don't make the same mistake. Invest the money, get the programs and books. The best money you can spend is money invested in your self-education. Don't shortchange yourself when it comes to investing in your own better future. If you want your life to change, here's the source of it all. Ideas plus inspiration. The good news is, ideas are not that far away. I've got an excellent phrase for you to consider, one that will serve you well for the rest of your life. Everything you need is within reach. The ideas you need for life change or business change are within listening reach. They're within reading reach. In fact, there's probably a library not too far from you. The problem is, most people pass by libraries. Very few walk in. Andrew Carnegie set up all these libraries across the country thinking everybody would stop in. But no, almost everybody drives right on by. Do you know how many people own a library card in the United States? 3%. And guess how much they cost? Nothing. The ideas are within reach. But here's the key question. Who is going to reach? There's a simple biblical phrase that says, if you seek, you will find. But it's very important to know that finding is reserved for the seekers. We don't find what we need. We find what we search for. If you will search, if you'll try, if you'll go, if you'll listen, ideas are within reach. And ideas are life-changing. There's nothing so powerful as an idea whose time has come. A business idea, a social idea, an investment idea, a good health idea. All you need is a specific idea to make an impact on your life. Ideas can help you gather treasure, gather equity, and gather wealth. 10 years from now, you can be right where you are now, or you can be in a new place. The difference between now and then could be significant in terms of money, lifestyle, treasure, and equity. In 10 years, you can enjoy an incredible life if right here and now you make a small change in your thinking to start you on the journey. The key is to start right now gathering the ideas and making the changes that will take you further along this new road. Ideas can change your life, and sometimes all you need is just one more good idea in a series of good ideas. It's like dialing the numbers of a combination lock. After you've dialed 5 or 6 numbers, the lock may not come open, but you probably don't need 5 or 6 more numbers. Maybe you need just one more number, one more idea. Maybe a seminar or a sermon can provide it. The lyrics from a song could do it. The dialogue from a movie could do it. Conversation with a friend might do it. If you keep your eyes and ears open, you'll find that one last idea you need. Once you find that idea, the lock comes open, and there's the door for you to walk through. Just one more idea, no matter where you get it, may be all you need to open that door of opportunity. If, however, the lock still doesn't open, you may be lacking in inspiration. Who knows why some people are inspired and some are not? Some people find a great idea and turn it down. Some people say that it costs too much. Some people say that it's going to take too much time. Some people are too busy. There are a lot of different reasons why some people are inspired to take advantage of a good idea while others pass it up. I call it mysteries of the mind, and I just leave it at that. There are some things I don't try to figure out. Some people buy and some don't. Some go for it and some don't. Some change and some don't. And if you've been around for a while, you can usually spot those who don't take advantage of a good idea. A man asks me, how come all this stuff goes wrong for me? I say, I don't know. The most I've been able to figure out is that those kinds of things always happen to people like you. I'll bet he's one of the ones who don't take advantage of good ideas. If he continues on that path, he'll probably never find the right combination. That honor will always fall on the ones who do. Like you.